This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
All right, y'all know what it is. Our first one of the year, morning after report, presented by our partners over at BetUS. Check them out. 125% up to $2,000 on your first deposit. If you looked at it, the spread was 42 at kickoff. Oklahoma covered that with ease, but did not get the over-under. So you can check them out. Link in description below, as well as the pinned comment. You may hear my voice sounds weird. I was at the game. Voice is a little shot. A lot of screaming, a lot of hollering, a lot of conversation. And I want to open up with this in the nicest possible way that I can. Yes. A lot of people aren't going to be happy with what I got to say on today's morning after. Oklahoma dominates Temple 51-3. And there's going to be a lot of I told you so's in here. And there's going to be a lot of head scratching in here. And to open it up, I was going to typically do like what I did for the uninitiated. Let me explain how this typically goes. 11 points on offense, 11 points on defense. And I give you kind of a breakdown of what I felt like the game went. And so in this circumstance, I don't know if I really have that for you like I normally would, because I have a substantial amount of questions in this game. And my frustrations coming from this game is because if I see it like me, Jay Smith here at Unfair Sports, if I see it, I assume the competition does too. And here's the one thing that I think that I noticed most of all when I went through this game, and I believe that the competition should probably saw too. This was a dress rehearsal on offense. And my frustration with that is it looked like they weren't trying. Right? Not that they weren't out there playing hard. It was more of this is our script and we're going to follow this script. And that's what I mean by not trying. Now, let me go ahead and break off of the negative Nancy portion of this. We dominated, as expected. So we'll start with offense. I'm going to talk offensive ball a little bit, and then we're going to ride right into the defense and the explanation that I have about what happened. But first, word from our partners real quick. Shout out to our partners over there at BetUS. They are hooking up the gamer, 125% up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. So they're taking care of the gamer. They are making sure that you've got the wages to go. And so, like, for example, I told you all, Oklahoma covered that spread. And so let's start to see what things look like in the Oklahoma realm. They don't have anything big for the next game yet. We'll be waiting on that Houston line to drop after this past performance. But to win the SEC, Oklahoma is still sitting here at plus 125. And so for me, I like that. I'll throw $50 on it because it's worth it. Right? I think Oklahoma can do that and win the SEC. I told y'all, I'm very bullish on the defense, and there's reasons why. On the other side, we're definitely going to talk about that. So I'm with my wager in there because, $50 just to see if I can get it. And BetUS is making sure you're taken care of. They're giving you 50% on your re-ups. They're hooking you up with a 10% payback on your net losses twice a year. It's like a gambling insurance. Make sure that you can come back in and continue to play. So check them out. BetUS. Links in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment. They're hooking the gamer up, so check them out. All right, so offensive-wise, this is the thing that jumped out to me. And I went ahead, I wanted to start. I was going to give a burger, right? Negative, positive, negative, pop. Nah, we're going straight into it. Because I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from with this and why this is what I felt. Our offense did everything it needed to. First drive, 7 plays, 76 yards, roughly 3 minutes. Just under 3 minutes. 2 minutes, 46 seconds to be exact. And what it felt like is that's when the staff looked and said, all right, let's turn the script on. We need to turn the script on. And the reason why I say that because when the defense went out there, 3 plays, 2 yards, and it looked like they were going to overwhelm Temple, I think the staff noticed that we're going to have a lot of opportunities in this where we're not going to have a full field, right? Jackson Arnold started off strong. That pass to Jalil Farouk was just while getting lit. We didn't play a full healthy offensive line. It was a lot of mix. Branson Hickman sprains his ankle. He's done. He left for the game. Jalil Farouk, Brent Venables announced broken foot, done for 6 to 8 weeks. He's going to have surgery now. He didn't need surgery in fall camp, but he does need surgery now, which is very much unfortunate. Means the wide receiver room is going to have to step up. Brennan Thompson looked like a young wide receiver. Route running wasn't as crisp as I hoped, nor did we even leverage him in the way that we probably should have going deep, because we purposely threw the ball deep 3 times the entire game. Farouk, Hester, I think we threw it once to Brennan. And when I looked at the passing chart, that's when I was like, oh yeah, this was done on purpose. This was 100% by design. There was nothing about this that said that we were trying to blast Temple. Like, you can tell that in this game, it wasn't like it was against Arkansas State, because we really wanted to just test out people and test out spots and in true game scenarios. And one of those game scenarios that I realized, throwing it across the middle. Looked at the passing chart. We threw 12 passes between 0 and 20 yards across the middle. 12. We threw 12 of those things. I didn't know if y'all knew this, but Jackson Arnold threw 25 times. So just under half of his passes were across the middle on purpose. They wanted to see him throw some balls across the middle. We did leverage the tight end. Shout out to Bauer Sharp. Looking like a tight end, right? And so because of that, that's when I recognized that we are truly walking through a script in this game. And that's where my frustration came in most of the game. Like, I was talking to some folks in line at the food concession and stuff. I was like, I'm annoyed because I know what they're doing. And then Brent Venables confirmed it in his press conference and said, yeah, we literally played a complete vanilla type of game. We played this game like this on purpose. They were trying to go through these moments on purpose. And again, the other reason why I feel like is the expectation is this defense is going to be dominant. I don't know if y'all noticed that, but the defense was pretty dominant. 6 turnovers. I'm going to break down defense in a minute, though. But they helped the offense dramatically in this game. And when I say dramatically, we had a lot of short possessions. And it was mainly because we had short fields. It's kind of hard to get yards and put up numbers when you have a very short field, right? Offensive line questions, they're still there because we did not play we didn't play the starting lineup that we're expected to play. All of it looked like makeshift, just putting dudes out there, testing stuff out. I know who's depth now. I know who should be starting. And we'll find out next week. I told y'all this game was going to be kind of meh when it came to that. We played 84 people. I don't know if y'all knew that, but we played 84 people. On the offensive side of the ball, we had 29 snaps. 29 different people got snaps. We played more than 2 entire rosters of offensive players. That's something you got to keep in mind. That's where a lot of I get what you're doing. It makes sense. But dang it. We couldn't put up an Arkansas State type game, even though we really technically did. But we couldn't because the entire goal was, I need to see what you look like when the lights are on in true pressure feeling and actually play. So that's why things looked a little weird out there. Deion Burks is him. He got into the right spots on his routes. Jackson Arnold looks like he's very comfortable with them. Shout out to my guy, Jacob. He has been on the Debbie Downers on the JJ Hester side. Him and Steven, I get it. I still need Houston because he's going to have to play. Now that we don't have Rook, he's going to play like crazy in that game. And if he looked like he was nervous because he looked like it's been a while since he's played. Right? It's been a while. And it has. It's been like 2 years because he's been dealing with injuries. But that touchdown throw, that catch that went through his hands, That wasn't considered a drop. We only got counted for 3 drops. It like it went through his hands. He just didn't grab it. That was a touchdown. And that moment feels like that's when they're like, yeah, we don't need to be throwing it deep. We don't really need to go deep like that. So tell me what y'all think on the offensive side of the ball. Hop in the comments. Let your boy tell the thoughts. Good seeing Andrew Anthony back. Good to see we got Taylor Tatum looks like he's going to be legitimate. Like, Taylor Tatum's probably good. Taylor Tatum's the future, period. Period, hands down. 5 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown. Sam Franklin looked really good, too. Sawchuk didn't. Neither. Barnes looked like his old self. But we averaged 6 yards a carry, which I'm satisfied with. We didn't need to do too much. The goal was to run the clock and not do too much, right? Me and Coop, of course, will break all this down on Sunday. I got to watch the game 3 more times because there's little things that I wanted to try to catch. All right, defensive side of the ball. Now, you're going to get the full filet mignon here because the defense did exactly what I told y'all. This is I told you so moment right here. The defense is going to carry us. 100% defense is going to carry us. And you could tell defensively, first off, shout out Zach Alley. Called the entire defense, the entire game. That was his. So if you're curious to what Zach Alley's defense is going to look like, that. Now, I don't think it's going to be the tune of 6 turnovers every game, but I expect about 2 per game. They were punching everything. Pass rush was there. We were getting a ton of pressure. The edges could do only so much because the tackles were getting there before them. And it was funny because in watching a lot of these plays, all the edges were pushing in that line so much that the tackles were either going around them, like almost like a stunt, but they was making kind of like looping around, or they were pushing in with them that they could squeeze right in and get there and get to the quarterback. And I got to give it to Temple as well, because Temple saw that we were going to level their quarterback every dang time. Like, they saw it. And their quarterback every time got rid of that thing. He was just like, no, y'all don't hit me. But in moments, he couldn't, right? One player that we were hoping was going to give us this, Grayson Halton. He got us. 1.5 sacks in this game. 1.5 tackles for loss. He was there. We had 9 tackles for loss in this game. This is the defense that I expected in this game. We took our foot off the gas defensively and gave up that 1 field goal. Little bit perturbing on there, but that's when we started the rotating players. We played on the defensive side of the ball. I had this written down, but I lost it. We played 41 different people on defense. 41. Players that made the most impact of their time. Shout out to the guy, Marcus Strong. We was wondering about him with them strong-ass hands. What'd he do? This dude went in there and said that I'm going to make the most by getting 2 sacks. He got 2 sacks in this game. And that's all basically end of the game, right? A lot of our sacks came late. Ethan Downs got himself a sack. Kendall Dobie got his. And it's funny because when Kendall was blitzing, it's like the quarterback was waiting for him. He's like, I know he's coming. And he looks, I see him, and he just threw it. He's get rid of it. We forced him to get rid of the ball. And this is how good the defense was. We can't really be mad about how they performed because the defense literally in this game gave up 197 yards. 197. Look, I would have never guessed that we would do something that low in a game like that because it's been a while. We gave up 200 yards to Arkansas State. I think this is the first time we haven't given up 200 yards in a game in a long time. And I mean a long time. We gave up 208 yards to Arkansas State. Now, you may be saying, Jay, semantics. I mean, it's what? 9-yard difference? Hey, giving up less than 200 yards in a game is a big deal. It's a big deal. We gave up, 128 passing yards? 69 rush? They averaged 1.9 yards per carry. They averaged 5 yards per pass. Like, we were terrorizing in everything that we were doing in this game. The thing y'all were looking for, the thing defensively we wanted, we got in this game. I got everything I needed in defense. I have no questions at all whatsoever on the defensive side of the ball anymore. They finished with 6 sacks. The defensive line got a lot of push. They forced turnovers. And I tell you, turnovers is technically a luck stat because it takes a lot of timing in order to get those punches right. But they did it in everything you were looking for. And then that Canick touchdown, that was returned for a touchdown. I told everybody that we were going to cover the spread. I was like, we're going to cover the spread. Don't worry about that part. People were worried. Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, man. We gave up that field goal and I don't see it. But we're going to cover the spread. We'll get at least, the defense is going to outscore the other team's offense. And guess what? The defense did. 2 interceptions. The Hardy one was pretty neat. As the drive was going, he just went through there and, ruined it. And then we went down and drove down and ran the ball down their throat to finish the game, which is what I was wanting us to do. But you can tell, defensively, this is going to run it. Tell me what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. How y'all feel about how we did there. All right. Not a full Debbie Downer here. I'm telling y'all. I told y'all Temple was not going to tell us as much as I would like. It's going to be Houston next week. We're going up against a P4 team at that point that's expected to only win 3 games this year. Willie Fritz is going to have them a lot better, much better prepared. But again, recapping what I said earlier, if I saw that this was a dress rehearsal, I know Houston saw this as a dress rehearsal. They're like, oh, they didn't even try to go deep. They didn't scheme for deep passes. We tested out throwing the ball across the middle. And for you all to understand, I'm only frustrated because I could see it. Because I do that's like, man, they're just going to test stuff out. They want to make sure that Jackson Arnold won't, because y'all, the concern was his turnovers and decision making. They want to make sure he wouldn't turn the ball over across the middle against a team like this. And guess what? He didn't. He didn't do it. So now we got to get ourselves ready for who? Houston. And I think that in this Houston game, expect deep passes, expect deep post, drags. They're gonna pull out the whole route tree in this game. This will probably be past a dress rehearsal. This will going to be the first true performance we actually see this offense play, because Houston's defensive line is way better than Temple's, and in the decision-making portion of it, Jackson should have handed the ball off in some spots, actually more spots than he went in the RPO. And I think they've got the film needed to fix all of that. So, all right, me and Cooper go live on Sunday like we always do. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring the video. Check them out, 125% up to $2,000 on your first 3 deposits. They're hooking up the gamer, and they're giving back 10% twice a year on your net losses. Hooking people up, but make sure you gamble responsibly, just like I do. I know when the spread looks good. I know when one looks juicy, and I told y'all this one was one that was going to be it. We will chop it up with every single one of y'all in a bit. Peace.